Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 67 of the Tudor Times today, and we are back for a big finale to the January transfer window. We've got deadline day just around the corner, we've got a new signing to introduce already, and we face second place Nottingham Forest in the Championship, as although we continue to concede goals, although our form still isn't good, there's just a sign against some of the bottom teams in the league, we're still able to grind out results. So technically we're 2 points from the 50 mark and staying safe, but we are still sliding at a rate of knots. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can recover, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. You should have seen earlier today the second part of our little mini training guides week. And if you've missed them, you can find that playlist as well as the podcast channel and the Twitch channel up in the eye above. But let's start today's episode by having a look at transfers, because there's been a sort of opportunity that's opened up to bring someone in, and I've taken it. Now, it's not someone who's going to be able to play regularly at the moment, but it's someone who for next season, I feel gives us a solution for one of those loan spots. Now, we've got a player that may well be coming in yet. Ronnie Stutter is a youngster being looked at up front. He's decent, but he's also quite expensive wage-wise, so I've got a decision to make on him. In terms of the history, though, we've got one in this month. Mateus, not a British name, on a free transfer, because he's not a British youngster. He's a Brazilian. He's a 19-year-old Brazilian. He was released by his native club at the end of his contract at the end of December last year. Made 74 senior appearances already. He's a 3.5-star ability right back with 4.5 potential. He's two-footed. He's good physically. Good defensively, he's got a bit of a long throw on him, and he's a really, really hard worker. He is someone who I feel could be an absolute gem for this club. Now, he's playing under 20 football for Brazil at the moment. He's a youth international. Hard to judge how good that is when we haven't got all the leagues loaded. But the fact this youngster's come through in Brazil despite that suggests he's going to be pretty good. He's a 6-foot fullback as well. And with McDonough at the end of the year, finishing his loan, probably not developing any further. With Bennett Sharif getting better, getting interest from other clubs, having Mateus in on a modest wage on what, a 2.5, 3-year deal, 3.5-year deal, is going to be incredible for us moving forward. So I am so thrilled with this deal. He's learning a language, so that the aim for this season to train him, give him the odd little bit of football, and then next year, hopefully we've got a gem on our hands. But only one signing. It's not been a busy month. It hasn't had to be, thanks to our first 3 months of the season. But it is a month that has seen one potentially brilliant player come through the door. In terms of the squad itself, there are a few that are wanted at the moment, the likes of Doyle Swan and still Ricky J. Jones, I'm afraid. So we'll wait and see if we lose anyone before the end of the month. But let's have a look at the schedule for the 4 games since you were last with me. You watched that 9-0 battering against Liverpool as we were in awful form. And it continued. The slide continued too, but everyone's been dropping points over this period. So the busiest stage of the year, and we've been able to just about cling on in there because of the results. And that's despite the fact our defensive record has continued to be poor. So we had a 3-3 draw away at Middlesbrough. We did go 2 up in 6 minutes with Richards and Jones. We then were 3-2 down at half time, but Richards got a late second to equalise at the end. Then we lost to Birmingham despite an early goal from Ricky J. Jones. Kieran Dowell and then our head coach legend Tyrese Campbell getting a second there. You can find his antics in the head coach up in the eye above. A 3-2 win though at home to Coventry, who were in the relegation zone. It was tense. It came back to 2-1 with just over 10 to go, but Albi Armin wrapped it up after Arthur Reed and Rodell Richards had given us a 2-0 lead. A 1-1 draw at home to QPR, a decent top half side. It was a good result. Callum Hazeman got the goal there. And now it's Nottingham Forest, followed by transfer deadline day. 2 of the 3 right backs at the club unavailable due to international duty and being ineligible against their parent club. But it gives us a fantastic opportunity to try and go to one of the top teams without much pressure and hopefully get a half-decent result. We've also, I think because of the FA Cup defeat, got a week and a half off after this, which is very much needed after that Christmas schedule. And I know it means a little bit of congestion further down in the year, but for now, I'm pretty happy with where we stand. So let's go and get into the first fixture. I'm sure deadline day is going to take up a lot of our time. In the real championship table, there's 4 teams that are so far adrift of the rest at the bottom of the table. I know 2 because of points deductions. But here you've got a bottom 3 that are 11 and 12 points behind the rest. And in the rest of the table, with 17 games to go, is separated by 21 points. If we go on a 3 or 4 game winning run, we could win the league. And if we go on a 3 or 4 game losing run, we could easily be in the bottom half by the next episode. It's frightening, really. But let's go and get into the game. Let's go and pick our 11 for today. I think there's going to be a few changes. There's had to be a lot in recent weeks. But we're 10 days off after. Anyone who's fit can play. And then they get a nice little breather as we get to work for transfer deadline day. Back in a moment to run through the 11. Well, the issue with our plan is that not many players are fit due to the midweek action. We have got Thornley, Hazeman, Reed and Ricky J. Jones all knackered. I've left Jones on the bench, dropped the other 3 completely because it's about fitness at this point. We need to pick up. Look, our objective's to stay safe. We need 2 or 3 victories before the end of the year. I can't risk losing 4 or 5 star players and going on another one of these atrocious runs. So the lineup we've gone for today is G-Cock in goal, Bennett Sharif the only option at right back due to McDonough being ineligible, a Forest youngster. We've got Armin at left back, Doyle and Taylor at the centre halves. Egan, Hamilton, Richardson, first start back from his second injury, and Kamari Doyle, the midfield diamond. And Javan Malcolm is in alongside Rodell Richards, with Ricky J. Jones on the bench if we need him. So into the game we go. We've got half an eye on deadline day, but we want to try and pick up a result too. Let's see if we can. Well, accidentally threw the lineups very quickly. We're going to tell the lads there's no pressure on them. We're playing a second place team in the league. We can't expect results in a match like this. They've got defenders including Ethan Laird and Tom McIntyre, top young championship prospects. And this is going to be difficult. They're up there for a reason, as Egan brings the ball out of defence. One of the few first teamers that is well rested for this game. Gives it to Doyle and wide to Armin. He's got a chance to play down the line, but instead goes back to Doyle. Simple ball to the keeper, but we don't look convincing. We're getting caught out a bit. And the long ball forward finds nobody as Barry goes wide to Laird, one of the men we mentioned on the overlap. Gets towards the byline, takes on Armin. Chance to cross, goes back to Esposito, into Barry. Presume that's Louis Barry perhaps, as Laird crosses into the front post. G got caught in no man's land, but it's headed over. 0-0. It is Louis Barry on the right for them. So that's 3 very good young players. They've still got the likes of Ryan Yates on the bench too. They've now got a free kick 20 yards out, and that's a bit more of a pressing concern. Louis Barry takes it. Great save, G-Cock. Don't know if he tipped it onto the woodwork or just got a very strong hand, but it's exceptional goalkeeping. Forest dominant, we're still level. And G-Cock, no surprises, the best player on the pitch for us. As Egan, in the holding role, picks it up for Doyle, makes the run in behind. He's got electric pace to burn, but he's not quite got the finishing ability. That's where him and Bullock differ slightly. Doyle just doesn't take those chances, but he does make brilliant runs. And if he can make a couple more, we might nick a goal. As he makes one again there, that's got to be a red card, referee. And it is. Second yellow for McIntyre. Should have been a straight red, by the way. Let's get that out one thing clear, because Javan Malcolm was 1-on-1. But now we're seeing a replacement in defence, and Armin stepping up with a free kick. Oh, just over the bar. He's not a bad free kick taker, doesn't often get them because 2 or 3 other players are better when they're on. But at the moment, this is a massive lifeline. Against the second place team, it's a great chance to try and get a result. Though it's still Forest coming forward here. Scott into Diogo. Heads over the bar. It's 11v10, but doesn't look like it in the early stages. Leif Davis, someone we've managed in the Twitch streams with Derby. He's on for Nottingham Forest. And at half-time, it's 0-0. We've still not managed a shot on target, but we have come back into the game a tad since the red card. And you'd expect us to now maybe push on in this half. We've got the slight advantage physically, but it's another Forest set piece. Claridge at the back post. They still look more of a threat than us, it has to be said. I don't think we can go positive. I don't think we can push too much. But we do have to try and make sure we don't get beaten in this game. With an hour gone, I am going to make a couple of changes. Kamari Doyle had a good little spell, but Bullock's the first choice. Let's get him on. Alador Hamilton on a yellow. They're going to be trying everything to level it up. So let's bring on Jason Ferris. And then up front, I think I'm going to make the change. Richards is the more tired of the 2. But that doesn't matter. We've got 10 days off. Ricky J. Jones for Javan Malcolm. Just don't get injured, Ricky. Nick me a goal. Be a hero. Well, 10 minutes left. We've encouraged the lads, but it's still Forest with most of the chances. They've got a set piece again, which is headed away by Egan. Still on the right-hand side, though, with Sheppers and now Scott. To Jenkins. Shoots from distance. Just over. I'll be honest, even though our performance has been disappointing since the red card, when you look at the last 2 months and what's changed this season, if we could keep a clean sheet, it'd probably make me happier than anything else today. As Richardson chips it up to Bullock, it might get better. Bullock has the same sort of chance that Doyle had in the first half. He hits the target, but he does not beat the keeper. It's a feeble effort. It's 0-0, but it is a shot on target, so there's something we can cheer about. After the 9-0 against Liverpool, after that run, the first 2.5 months, we didn't concede more than 1 goal in any game. And in the last 2 months, we've barely not conceded more than 1. A clean sheet against the second place side in the league. Forget they had 10 men for over an hour. That's a decent point. It's a decent result. I would have taken it at the start. And crucially, with 16 games to go, we're 1 away from the 50-point mark and safety guaranteed. Transfer deadline day is here. As you can see below, little knocks and muscle injuries back and back again, but they should both be fit for next week. We keep getting offered goalkeepers, which I don't quite understand. And in our staff meeting, we were being recommended to sell Bennett Sharif because he won't sign a new deal and he's only got 18 months left. Regardless though, we're going to take part in deadline day. You can see we're still being linked with youngsters, some of the young players and the superstars like Ricky being linked with moves away. I don't think there's going to be much business tonight, and I know I've said this before, and then we've sold 3 and 4 and signed 3 or 4 depending on the day. But unless someone magic comes up, unless somebody really excites me, I'm not actually planning to do much today. Mainly it's going to be batting off interest and hoping that unlike last year, if the chairman doesn't take things out of our hands, we've got a chance. Let's take part, 15 hours to go. Unless the scout's got a superstar, it's going to be a very quiet day. 13 hours to go, and we said it was going to be busy. We did not expect the director of football to make an offer for someone this quick. Rommel Palmer is the player he's made an offer for. I actually think he's pretty good, but look at the wage he's on. It's grotesque for our level. And we have to make sure we keep our wage structure intact for now. I want to prioritise a stadium and facilities. The day has started with pretty big offers for Bennett Sharif. And I mentioned this last January. It's what annoyed me so much with the Thornley deal. If they'd have waited a year, we'd have got double the money for him easily. He's a good player, Bennett Sharif. He's someone that I accept we're going to have to sell. I'd probably rather do it in the summer, if I'm being honest. Let's ignore both of those. There is a 30% sell-on for Peterborough and 725 grand. There's a point at which, with Mateus coming in on a free, I might have to consider an offer, but we'll leave it for now. Ipswich have come in for Will Swan, who is out of contract this year again. It's a decent offer for someone who's not really playing. He's 28, he's not going to get any better. We'll try and get a bit more money. If we can get a decent deal, then I think we take it. So I'm not really worried about the minimum goals, but if we can get 60 grand and a friendly for free, let's say that's fine. It is rejected so far. We're going to try again. 60 grand and a friendly. The terms are there. They've taken it. For Will Swan, I don't think we can turn that down. It's more than his value. He's got 6 months on his deal. And he's made, 4 sub-appearances this season in the league? Yeah, we're not in any cups. We can't argue with that. We'll accept that offer. If we need to bring players back from loan, don't forget, we can do that. So I'm not adverse to selling 1 or 2. Palmer actually has really reduced his wage demands. He's 30 years of age, has made 1 sub-appearance for Derby this year. Could be a replacement for Swan. How much did he bid for him? 18 grand. Always tempting, you know. Let's see what the wage is when we actually get in, because we've seen plenty where they've said, oh, we'll take 2 or 3 grand, and then they've been nowhere near it once we get there. So let's see what he actually wants via his agent. He wants 2.9. If I can get that around 2 grand a week, I think we might end up signing him, you know. I don't want to go beyond 2.2 because that's what Mateus was getting. Let's edge down the signing on feet. Let's edge down these other bits. Hopefully 2.3. Limit. I know I keep edging it up, but if he rejects that, then he has to sit on Derby's bench, I'm afraid. He does. So Ronald Palmer will not be joining us. Swan might be leaving. And I think what we might be doing later today is having a look at these loan players and who might be worthy of coming back. Oh, it couldn't, could it? Our director of football has just made an offer for George Wickens. Now, we got him in our Twitch streams with Derby as a backup keeper, sort of out of sentiment. He was the best goalkeeper of our banger save last year. He was with us for 10, 11, 12 years as first choice keeper. He was an absolute superstar. And he's been offered to us again. And we do need a goalkeeper. I think he's better than G-Cock too, you know. We're going to scout him whilst we're doing the deal, but I might get that one done. It's one of the few positions I've genuinely been looking for a player. And I think if we could get George Wickens as the man to fill the void, it could be perfect. But look at the money he wants. That's that deal done. First done deal of the day. Will Swan has agreed to join Ipswich. £60,000 for a backup player that's out of contract at the end of the year. And we get a friendly for free next season too. That's a great deal. He has been a good servant for us. Crucial in the League 2 promotion. Scored 8 goals in 34. Scored 9 last season in 29. This season, been a bit part player. And with us out all of the cups, it makes sense to sell him. But thank you, Will Swan, and all the best for the future. So the Will Swan deal is done, and this is our next painstaking decision of the day. Ronnie Stutter of Peterborough, 24-year-old striker, has rejected MK Dons to come and join us here at Hemel Hempstead Town. Now, the director of football made the offer, so it has got a sell-on clause or a percentage of profit, and it's 4.2 grand a week, which would be our highest paid player. But if we look at his scout report, he's pretty good. What do you think? Should I do it? He's been largely a sub for them in League One, but has scored virtually a goal a game. Oh, this is a difficult decision. It's the first time, and I know it's only an 18-month deal as well, but it is the first time we've had someone that, on the face of it, has the genuine quality to be a partner for Ricky J. Jones that's a permanent player. And I know the wages in the summer, it's going to drive everyone else up a bit, but he's an under-18 international for England. He's come through at Chelsea. He's played at some big clubs, West Ham as well prior to that. And he scored goals for Ipswich at this level before, which I didn't realise. 10 in 24, largely off the bench 2 years ago. That's made my mind up. Ronnie Stutter is coming in. 10 hours to go, and here is our man. It looks a good deal now. He's as good as, if not better than Ricky. Scott Egan, hilariously, still rated as our best striker. He's a natural poacher. He's quick, he's class. I did see a director of football offer for Henderson too. He is Rafe's 28-year-old midfielder. I don't think that deal's going to get done. But with 10 to go, we've done some really good work this January. I'm delighted. Offer from director of football for a younger keeper this time. 25-year-old Hubert Grasik, who is a Polish under-21 international in times gone by at Bolton. I mean, we'll have a look at him. He seems to want to be a backup. I don't think he's good enough. But we'll see if he wants a modest wage. And if he does, we'll do the deal and scout him at the same time. If he's good enough, we'll perhaps give him a chance. So let's try and work all the other stuff down and give him a bigger average wage. Hopefully he'll be in agreement with that. He is. Excellent work. 7 hours remaining. We're getting more agent offers all the time here. And Gary Ferguson from Rafe looks like an absolute gem. Let's see what he's like and how much they want. We're going to make an inquiry because there's no agent there. When's he out of contract? 18 months. So we'll keep an eye on him even if he does stay. Grasik has agreed to join, but he's not bad either. He's such a step up from our other two backup goalkeepers. And looking at the rest of the season, I don't think we can turn that down. He's better than Hornby. He's better than Mitchell. It's another little deal we've got to do. Just keep bolstering that squad. Keep making ourselves stronger. And now we can probably sell keepers as well. Sam Hornby has wanted to go for a little while. So we'll offer him out for the price we agreed. See what happens. Grasik has joined. He is 2.5-star ability. He is better than both current backups. And has the potential to be as good as G-Cock too. Got all the key attributes. He's a solid keeper. I'm really pleased with that one. We're going to get him into the squad and Stutter. This is turning into a busy day. It's happened again, hasn't it? Gary Ferguson not for sale from Rafe. So we'll just keep him on our shortlist till we can discuss personal terms. And Sam Hornby wants to discuss his asking price. So let's take care of it. We'll just offer him out for any fee. And we'll see who wants to take him. Because he is wanted by a few. And we have got offers for him from Birmingham and Larne. About 2.5 grand each, but it's a little bit off the wage bill. It's a little bit of money going. And it's a straight swap with a younger player coming in, so no complaints at all. 6 hours left. Serves me right for not reading my news items. Apparently I said that Hornby's going nowhere, which isn't true. This is what we've got to worry about though. We had this last January. It was a chaotic saga. It's the offer for Bullock. I'm going to keep an eye on it. There's an offer in for Harries as well, who's 31. I don't want to rely on 31-year-old centre-halves who have got the turning circle of God knows what. Let's walk away from that. Hornby is off for £2,500. He's chosen Birmingham over Larne. The offer for Bullock is £675 plus a sell-on plus a friendly. Absolutely no chance. Just looking at the live transfer rumours here, I'm being linked with Kofi Baumer, who's one of the best young prospects in the Northern Irish League at the start of the game. Going to look at him ahead of the summer. Bullock has got another offer from West Brom. They're testing us. 1.3 million in total fees. 30% sell-on, but so much of it is not guaranteed money. It's per league appearance or after appearances. Only 200 grand actually guaranteed. So actually, West Brom, you can get lost. Leon Bullock is unhappy that we rejected the deal because we said last January in League One we'd sell him for 1.3, but that's not guaranteed money, is it? So the finances weren't right on the deal. He's not happy. How long's he got on his deal? A year and a half. So look, him and Bennett Sharif are going to force their way out in the summer, but at least we can get this season done, and then maybe we can focus on getting a proper transfer fee and a proper deal in place when we've got 3 months to work with. Well, I just saw on the transfer news, bear with me, we were linked with a player from Ibiza. There, Stefan Bajatic, 145 grand. This is a sort of left field one, isn't it? Came through at Liverpool, played in League 1 and League 2 for Leyton Orient. 45 minutes, do you reckon we can get a deal done? What does he want? He wants 2 grand a week. And it says they wanted about 140, 150 grand. So I'm going to go for it. This could be the most left field deal of the series so far if we pull off a signing of a centre-half from Ibiza. Let's go to 165 grand, which is what it said in that report. He has got a minimum fee release of 350. We'll cross our fingers we can get him for less. Suggest the terms? Accepted. Finalise the offer. What a finish to the window this could be. And at the same time, our director of football has gone for Kofi Baumer, who has now got a full scout report. And Jesus Christ, we have to sign him if we can. I don't know what the wage demands are going to be, but that is a spectacular centre-half by our standards. It's game-changing levels, that. Ferguson is the Raith Rovers one. Look, we can't compete with 1.2 million. Baumer wants too much wages. We'll check just in case it would be willing to accept less, but I think, yeah, he's pricing himself out. We'll offer the 4.2 that we offered to the striker because I think that's only fair. And we are at a point now where we've got to consider very slight step-ups. We know we're virtually safe in the Championship now. We can take that slight risk, but I don't want it to get out of hand. Next year, I still want everyone under 5 grand a week. But I'm looking at the wage at the bottom. 4.7's in the middle. And then let's push the signing on fee down by 5 grand. Come on. There we go. He's accepted that. What about the lad from Ibiza? Here he is with 30 minutes left. I don't know that either of those deals are getting done. But we're going to try our best to get over the line. We're going to put this down to a squad player. And hopefully we can discuss terms. He's pushing. We're going to go up to 3.5 grand a week. We're going to go down to 50 on the signing on fee. This is negotiation I've not had to do for a while. It's the difference when you get to the Championship. We're talking bigger sums of money, bigger risks, bigger gambles. We need him to pay off. He's agreed that. Have we got a scout report yet? No. This is going to be a big gamble at the end. Both transfers cancelled. We do not beat the deadline for either of them. So that's something we're going to have to work on. We're just beaten by the 11 o'clock bell. In terms of the transfer window, we're nowhere near the big spenders. The wage expenditure for us, still 63 grand a week. Fleetwood the next lowest on 115. Let's go to the transfers though and round off the day. Lots of deals that may or may not get done in the summer, but the work we did get done this month was pretty good. Swan and Hornby, fringe players who go out, replaced by Mateus, who is a big signing at right back moving forward. Ronnie Stutter, hopefully a permanent partner in the future for Ricky J. Jones. And Hubert Grashik, a new backup keeper, and at a pretty reasonable price too. So a 0-0 draw against the second place side and a good transfer deadline day. I'm happy with that for a day's work, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. You can find links in the eye above to the training guides, the Twitch channel, the football podcast, the food videos and much, much more. But just above my head, you should be able to see the individual training guide from earlier today. If you haven't already, please do check it out. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.